On the 25th of February 2022, you were employed with LMCS Limited.
Yeah.
And you were employed as a diver.
Yeah.
On that date, could you tell us what happened?
How far away back, from the beginning or from the...
No. At the time when you went to work that day, could you tell us what happened?
On the 25th?
Yes. Do you remember on the morning of the 25th?
So, yeah.
You went to work?
I reached work early because we requested to reach work early.
And you attended a meeting on that morning?
I believe so. We had a little...
Can I try to recall? You had a toolbox meeting that day about a job?
Right, that's when we reached on the barge, yeah. That's when we was on the barge,
okay.
Out on the job site.
I'm going to ask the camera people, please, to be a little more prudent in the number of pictures they take. There's a limit to how many times that clattering should be proceeding. Thank you very much.
So you went to the toolbox meeting that day, and that was in respect of a job that had to be done.
Yeah, so we had the toolbox meeting concerning this riser job that was in question. We got around at that toolbox meeting. Toolbox meeting is more or less of the job entails, what we're going to do for the day, and the stages of how we're going to do it. The safety officer will also talk to us a little safety briefing, the hazards of the job and whatnot.
I wonder, can you just tell me, we know that there was a habitat or a chamber over the top of this riser, yes? And you and your work colleagues were working inside that chamber.
Right.
Yes? And the first thing that you had to do on that day, from what you said, is to remove the blank plug. Is that right?
Yeah.
Not plug, the
blank. The blank, yeah.
Yes. That's like a cap, a top.
Right, yeah.
So that was the first thing you had to do, was it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you take it from there. After you'd done that, who is it that did that?
Me, Yusuf and I. Well, all of us was in the chamber. Well, the habitat was Faizi Kurban. He was like the most experienced out of all of us, so that's like the lead diver, Faizi Kurban. Rishi Nagasa, Blacks.
That's his nickname, Blacks, isn't it? Yes.
Yusuf Henry, myself. Kazim Ali was on the barge as a standby rescue diver for in case something was to go wrong.
Yes. So he was supposed to stay on the barge, and the four of you were working, were you?
Right,
inside the chamber. Did it need all four of you?
Yeah, that sense. Yeah.
Right. All right.
So you came back. So you went for lunch and then came back.
No.
Okay.
No. It's before.
Okay.
Take lunch.
So you came back, and what happened?
After going out of the habitat, asked Dexter if they finished the carver test. Dexter told me yes, the carver test was done. At the same time, I saw the boat coming back across, the pirogue coming back across, and I asked the guys themselves who did the job if the carver test didn't finish, and they confirmed it. I went back down. I confirmed with Faizi the carver test was finished over there. Right? So he said, well, alright, let me take out the mechanical plug. We take out the mechanical plug, we bolt it up, right?
When you say take out you then take out the mechanical plug?
Yeah, before we take out the mechanical plug, I went and get this information from outside to make sure we could do this, right?
Okay, and what happened
After we get the clearance, we take it out, right? We came out for it to do the carbon testing, right? Because an external contractor or team, whoever was supposed to oversee the carbon testing, Pfizer and I and the rest of the team was supposed to just put the equipment in place, and them would do the testing, right? Since we are the divers. When we came, I came out, I delivered the message that we were ready for the carbon testing. They sent down the thing, I was on the barge. Yusuf came back out and tell us that it can't work, it's too small. Pfizer and everybody come back out and tell them that it's not fitting, it can't work. They asked for a bigger one. When they check it, nothing bigger can work. It's the pipe had a little deformity. Paria and Kazim and LMCS had some discussions on whether or not they should go for it or whatever. They said, tell us take lunch. We took lunch from there.
Okay. You said the carbon testing couldn't work. Could you help us what it is couldn't work?
To do the carbon testing, you need a proper seal. Right? And because the pipe was deformed, it couldn't get a proper seal. Correct?
Okay. Right. So you all went for lunch, and you all came back after lunch.
Well, yeah, we take lunch right on the...
I want you to take your time and tell us, as far as you remember, when you came back from lunch, what happened? What was the first thing when you came back from lunch that happened? I could help you a little bit. You remember about the mechanical plug, what you said? What happened?
So after we take lunch, I don't know, for some reason my mind just going blank. After we take lunch, we came back out. Kazim Ali Jr. tell me that we get the clearance to continue the job without the carbon testing.
Correct.
We alright. We had a little talk with each other. We say, well, alright, we just need to take out this inflatable plug, install the riser. That's a wrap for the day. We say, right, that's what we're gonna do. We went in. We went in the habitat. As we went in, we had 10 deflate the inflatable plug, right? So because I wasn't there for the inflatable for while they install it and all them kind of thing, I took like a back seat while I was deflating it and things like that, and that's for a spanner. That's for a spanner because apparently the lever was jammed or something like that they couldn't just release the air. So at the same time, Kazim Ali Jr. came in and we tell him we needed a spanner. He went out, collect the spanner, bring it back in, give me the spanner, I give it to them, and as he come back in and I turn around, after I do that and I turn around, I even sure if I collect the spanner. After I turn around, I saw the water in the chamber start to rise, and I say like, what's going on here? Look, this thing filling up, let me get out of here. And I jumped, and when I jumped to come out the habitat, I feel like instead of sinking in water, I feel like I was floating in like it had no gravity, you know. I feel like, and then after, within a second, it was like a tornado. Everything just spinning and beating you up, and it happened so fast. You couldn't react. The only thing I remember able to do was cover my head, like in the fetal position. After that, all I remember, I didn't even remember actually getting pulled in the pipe. I just remember going hurled through the pipe at unbelievable speeds. It feels like if when you're driving a car and you're doing 100 or 120 on the highway, it feels like if you're going through that kind of speed. Every time I try, after I realize I'm in the pipe and I'm going through the pipe, every time I try to stop myself jamming the walls of the pipe, I would feel my hands burning through the wetsuit. While going down it, I feel little debris hitting you.
Where's my guy? Yeah! Yeah! Ayah mana? Saya ayah. Huh? I said five too. I trying to come up. Chris, turn around. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Right behind you? You're right behind me? You don't know when you're come up? It's not who making all that noise? Come on, all that we let's figure it out. We gotta go. We gotta start moving. Where you at? I don't know. I'm trying to come up. Trying to come up.
Stop, and the water kind of slow down, and I was able to stop myself. At this time, I couldn't hold my breath no longer. My truth, when you hold in your breath for too long, after a while, your body, your lungs just fight to try to gas a breath, and when you're forcing your airways close, you see a noise. That's why I was saying. your body suffering to pull air. And at that point, I tell myself I was going to dead. I tell I say, God, I come in, Ma, look out for me. I was expecting to be dead there. And all of a sudden, I just out of the water and catch a breath. Was in a state of panic. Realizing that, alright, I need pipe. I just now nearly dead. I'm not sure if I'm alive. I'm a matter of fact. I ain't sure where is if I'm in hell, if I'm in heaven, if I'm in a pipe. It may sound funny to a lot of people, but that's how I was going through my mind for a brief moment, and then I heard, I believe it was Kazim Ali calling out to me as the first person I hear calling, and I assumed he was outside the pipe and calling me, I thinking that I fall down the pipe, and I was like, well, I'll hear the audio. Yeah, boy, who's that, boy? Yeah, boy, who's that, boy? Inside the pipe, boy. Yeah, boy, I'm inside the pipe too. And from days when I realized that I had to go into survival mode, you know, I'm still living because I hearing somebody talking, unless he dead too. I had to find out, and I started going to the voice. Closer and closer. I still didn't actually make out who it was until I reached on him. And I reached on him, I touched him, my foot touched him because I was going backwards. Because I get sucked in the pipe, and in my head, I thought that I get sucked in the head first because I tried jumping out foot first. So the pipe up here, right? And if I jump here and I end up in the pipe, so I thought I get sucked in head first. At least that the maths I did at the time in my mind, you know? And I tell myself that if I get sucked in head first, well, foot first is the way out, you know? And Kazim, Ali, and whoever else was that they was closer to the riser, and it was like ride because that's how it's sung, you know. So when I reach across now, and my foot touched something soft, and I pull it back so because I was in a state of fright. I say, who's that boy? He say, boy, me boy. I say, me who boy? He say, boy, Kaz boy. I say, Kaz, you alright? Say, no. Yusuf answer. I say, who is that boy? He say, oh, me boy, Chris boy, Yusuf boy. I say, Yusuf, you alright boy? He say, no way brother boy, my foot break boy. I say, alright boy, brother boy. I feel my hand and foot break too, but we had to get out of this. We had to come together and we had to get out of this. I hear bawling in the background. I say, who is that now? Who is that? Person didn't answer. I say, who is that? You say, boy, that is Faizi, boy. I say, Faizi. Say, yeah. I say, you alright? Say, yeah. Say, anything wrong with you? Say, no. So what are you bawling for? Say, I don't know. I say, alright. Watch me, we have to get out of this. God is good. We go come out of this. Let me pray. I pray. I ask Kazim Jr. I say, Kaz, what we could come out of here, what we could do, boy, think, what we could do. Kazim say, boy, we going there. I say, no, don't say that. No going there in here. We come out of here, boy, we no going there in here, boy. We coming out of here. I say, all right. See all the way blocks. Yusuf tell me about Philly pass over a block slower down when he was coming across. He say, you ain't sure what's going on with you. I say, well, yeah, what's going on? We can't stay and wait for him. We have to go and come back. Who could move, let we move. Say, Fies, you push. Yusuf, you push cars and I go pull. Now before that, I asked him, I say, I think we have to go backwards so because I think I come in foot first. Kazim say, no, we come in head first. No, we come in foot first. I think we come in head first. Kazim say, no, we come in foot first. I say, no, we can come in foot first. He say, yes. Yusuf say, yes, boy, Chris, boy. I sure we come in foot first, Chris. Faizi say, yeah. I say, well, all right, boy, well, we done in this. I can't fight all if I say, that is it. If we are the dead, we are the dead. There we go. I had to go to all, let's see. If them didn't know where we are, what direction we have to go, I'd be dead today too. We form a chain, like I tell them, I say, listen, I'll put my foot underneath Kaz's shoulder. Kaz, see if you could lock onto Yusuf. Yusuf, see if you could push Kaz, Fies, see if you could push everybody. And we go in. Now mine all here. Inside it was like an unbelievable nightmare. Your eyes burning. Every time you try to open your eyes, it's burning. You're pitch black, you can't see nothing. Your throat burning. Your ears ringing. Your body sore. Inside there wasn't no just crawl through a pipe like what plenty people might be thinking. And me and them fellas, with all the pain we had, we link up together and we drag and pull, drag and push and pull. And every now and again, small cars would ask for a rest because he apparently was in the most amount of pain. And he would say, Chris, we had a rest, and I had to stop.
So the last thing you told us just before the break, take your time, you said that there was, you all formed a human chain, and Kazim was ill. Could you tell us what happened after that, as far as you can recall?
Pulling and dragging through the... We was pulling and dragging through the pocket.
Can I ask you, at this stage, was there any water or fluid in the pipe at all, or were you in a dry area of the pipe?
Where I ended up, now I noticed that I was closer to the riser than they was, right?
Right.
Where I was.
So you were at the front, effectively.
Right.
Yeah. So you must have been the last person to be sucked into the pipe.
Correct.
Right.
While I was there was some water, maybe like about 8 to 10 inches
right.
of water.
And we're talking about a 30-inch pipe. We have a hoop here somewhere,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So it's not a great big amount of space. Do we still have the hoop? Yes. That is about an inch smaller on either side for the sort of pipe that you were in. That's so that we can get a visual. That's the diameter, approximately, of the pipe that you were in. All right. So we can now picture the situation. You're down there. It's completely dark, so you can't see anything, but you can hear. All right, and you can touch. There's about, did you say, 8 inches or so of water? Something like
Eight
fluid?
8 to 6 inches
Yeah.
of, well, liquid.
Yes, a mixture. Right.
Yeah, we couldn't really tell exactly if it was pure oil or, but it was mixed.
Right.
Because I understand what it is now.
Right.
You know?
And the walls of the inside of the pipe, were they slippery? I mean, how did it feel?
They were thickened with oil.
Right.
Oil residue.
Right.
Was
They're quite
totally-
old pipes, so obviously
Yeah.
they would build up of that material on the inside.
Yeah.
So was it slippery as you were trying to crawl along?
Yeah, it was. Every time you're dragging, you're feeling like you're not going away.
Yes. Did you have any idea about how far away you were from the vertical pipe? Any sense of that at all? No.
I could tell it wasn't I don't think it was a short way.
No. All right.
Because I feel like it was forever inside it.
Anyway, you were telling Mr. Maharaj and us what you were doing. You're pushing and pulling and making your way along the pipe. All right.
Yeah.
And did you encounter any more fluid?
While going back to them, where I was like about 6 to 8 inches. When I reached back to them, the pipe was totally dry.
Right.
Well, other than the gunk on the
Inside.
yeah.
Right.
Right, so
So you'd gone backwards first of all, shuffling backwards with your feet first, as it were, yes?
yeah.
And now you've made your chain, you've told us you're now making your way forward again, all right?
Right.
They'd persuaded you that that was the right way to go.
Yeah,
okay?
thank God.
And so off you did, off you went. Now,
Yeah.
as you're going forward, you start going back into the fluid, and then tell us, take it from there, and tell Mr. Maharaj will help you along.
Well, it wasn't like as just back into the fluid. I like the short version of it. You know, in between that we had a lot of stops and breaks, and
Right.
I was praying with the guys. I asked them to pray too. You know, Yusuf prayed with me. Faizi say he prayed. Kaz, I tell Kaz to pray. Can't help me here but God, boy.
All right.
Tell him, let me go again. He was constantly asking for breaks and stop. I know that we couldn't inhale this for long, you know. I found that tank
Right.
while going back, find a tank.
Did the tanks have the spiders on them still?
Yeah.
You know, the spider is the
Yeah,
pipe
yeah, the
work, isn't it?
regulator,
Yes,
yeah.
and the regulator and the pressure gauge and all of those sort of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You had all that was still attached to the tank, was it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I found that Faizi found one while he was coming up earlier on. Because
Right.
I asked if anybody had any tank with them or anything like that.
Right.
And Faizi told me he had one. I said, alright, we're going to need it. Keep it with you. After I find the tank, I tell them, I say, yo, watch me. Breathing this air for long could get we delirious and get we nauseous, and we start thinking all kind of shit. We need to start taking interval sips of air from the tank to keep clear oxygen in the system. And we can't breathe it right through because we go need it. So we can't just hold it and breathe it. So I tell them, I say, I would give body breathe with Kazim. Every now and again, after pulling and pushing and we're exhausted, we take 2-3 pull of the fresh air, right? The air in the tank. Not much, and we share it. So we don't know how long we would need these tanks for, you know? We don't even know if there are more inside. Because at this stage, it was in my mindset, not knowing what's going on outside, what caused this incident. I'm not sure if it was an explosion. I'm not sure if the whole boat on fire. We don't know, you know? And I understanding and thinking all of that and trying to stay calm, to keep them fellas calm, was one of the hardest things I had to do in this life.
Could imagine.
When I tell them, well, alright, we go body breathe a little bit. And go. And we can't take long rest, cause I keep telling cause that Yusuf was in pain, but Yusuf was a fighter. Yusuf had resiliency to a whole different level. He pain and he with me. He said, Chris, let me go, I'm with you. And pushing. And he pushing. Faizi, as normally, he's strong and silent. He's not a big set of words, but you know he there. Because him was in a lot of pain. He tell me he break up bad. I assume he was crippled. Because every time I tried to move him, he couldn't move. Say, Chris, I can't move. And I'd be dragging, and I was using one hand because this hand was pinned. This hand was pinned behind my back. And every time I tried bringing it forward, it was an excruciating pain. So I thought it was broken. So it was using one leg on my ankle. My ankle and all too was damaged. I thought that was broken too. I don't know. And we was pulling and dragging, and Kaz was trying all he could try to, but he's only human. And he was asking for rest, and sometimes I wasn't giving him the rest, sometimes I was stopping for him, sometimes I feel that nobody was helping me, sometimes I was telling them, I was bawling at them and say, "All push. Let me go, all you gotta help me, all you're not helping me." I was feeling like that. Giving them words of encouragement, telling them, yo, God is good, He could take me out of this. All are we coming out of this, boy, we coming out of here. I say, boy, who knows? I sure Andrew Farah may be done inside this pipe halfway coming for we, boy. So all you don't worry, all yourself, we going and get rescued, we going and come out of here. And pulling and pushing and pulling and pushing. I come higher up and I found the GoPro. As with the audio you all hear.
Yes.
Found that and I say, well, boy, the GoPro here, but I pick up the GoPro and I was within a rest, I was thinking about leaving a message for my family. Because I already started to realize what was the outcome of this. And with that GoPro in my hand, something just tell me, boy, don't proclaim death on your life, boy. Trust in Jesus and just do what you have to do. And I pray again. I tell him, hey, I find the GoPro. I found one of my torchlight. I put it on. But you still can't see nothing. You can't open your eye to watch anything. I put the torchlight on my hand. Cause tell me, don't take off the light. Say, cause you could see anything. He said, no, you can't open your eye, but you feel any brightness. Leave the light on. I said, cause I didn't take off the light on. She Chris, we're going out there. I said, no, well, we don't go on there, but let me go. We go in.
Move a little closer to the microphone, please. Thank you.
He said, I apologize. Yeah, big man kind like this. Yeah,
So you moved forwards, carried on moving forwards with your brakes. Did you come across any more fluid?
Yeah, when we bounce up water. We keep going in the water. As the water started to fill up, it got a little easier to move. You know, so I was a bit relieved too. But knowing what coming up ahead, would there be more water, because I realized the water started getting higher and higher. So I take a measurement from top of my nose to the top of the pipe. And I had 6 inches. I said, Vice, take a measurement from the top of the water to the top of the pipe. Vice tell me he had 8. I said, alright. He said, what happened? I said, boy, water getting higher and higher, but it had a little silence, because after saying that, like, everybody started to understand that we're going into water and we need 2 tanks. Don't know how much they have in them. That survival situation is a real different one too. You don't know who will panic on you. You don't know if you pass your regulator, if they will pass it back.
Yes.
You just have to trust each other and say, well.
Anyway, did you enter the water then, together?
I went forward. I tell them, hold on, I need to go and check to see how far this water is, to know if I could pass them through. I didn't tell them that. I tell them I need to go forward and check to see how far the water going. I'm coming back now. Small cars was kind of reluctant to let go, man. I tell small cars, I said, guys, don't worry. I'm not coming out of this pipe without you. Coming out of this pipe without none earlier. I guarantee you I'm coming out of this pipe without you. I will never leave all you. I went forward, maybe swim about maybe 15 feet. And as I went in more into the water, the whole pipe was totally
Filled?
Yeah, filled.
Right. So did you take one of the tanks and the regulator with you?
Yeah. I went in, I swam about 15 feet inwards. And I realized that I can't drag them with the pace we move in 15 feet of water. And still I ain't find no abscess. I can't drag them with that pace we move.
Right.
Them fellas going to die there. If I try to pull them through that. And they may kill me too. Because in panic, everybody could be fighting, and so I understand I had to go and get help and come back for them. So I come back, prepare my mind mentally, because at this stage I still not sure if we're going in the correct direction.
Right.
I still not sure if I go and swim to about 5 and bounce up a blank, or if I swim further away from the rescue, because everything inside me open a rescue going on. Everything inside me open a rescue was going on. Nobody was making an attempt to rescue me. You know what I mean? Sorry. I understand that. I'm not sure how far this water going. And I don't tell myself I may not come back from the swim. But I had to know, I had to try. Because staying here is just as good as dying. And it don't make sense I should stay one place and dead. Or I just be killing the men and them too. But staying there.
All right, take a moment.
I always somebody who doesn't know what's going on, and I was always somebody who could control and see things through, and I feel like I tell her how it's coming back when I feel like.
Mr. Boodram, you told us that you went back to where the others were.
Yeah.
And you were steeling yourself to tell them what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And did you do that?
So I come back, and after preparing myself mentally of what I had to do, I told them that, yo, we can't go no more further like this. there's a lot of water ahead. When you have 2 tanks, you're not sure if the tank's full. I make them understand the situation. I told them that I'd be there. Somewhere in between our conversation, we heard knocking. And I was like, who knocking? Who knocking? Because before that, I asked them to knock too. I was knocking on to somebody there. I said, anybody knocking? They said, no, nobody knocking. I said, who knocking? They said, but they hear that coming from my blocks, boy. They're sure. But we can't go back for you, boy. When we coming back for rescue, we'll come back. Tell them fellas, go back a little bit, where they will be comfortable. Because we're in so much water, everybody had to keep the nose jammed on the top of the pipe.
So you were upside down. I say on your back rather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're all on your back at this stage, and so you're saying to them, go back to where there's more air, where a larger air pocket, where it was dry actually, where they were, and you were going to go forwards and get help. All right. So you've taken one of the tanks. What about Kazim Ali? What happened with him?
Kazim Ali asked me, say, Chris, don't go now, boy, don't go now. I said, boy, Kazim, I had to go, boy, but
He said to you not to go.
Yeah, he asked me not to go. He asked me to stay with him.
Right.
He said, don't leave here, don't leave here. I said, Kaz, I'm not leaving here, boy. I'm just going to get help and I'm coming back, boy, brother, boy. Coming back for you. Yusuf said, oh God, Chris, don't leave here. I said, brother, I'm not leaving here, boy. All you know when I say something is that, boy. I don't just talk things, but I'm coming back for you, boy. Yusuf said, alright now, brother, alright now, brother. Tell them, I say, hey, Faiz, you have to come too. I say, Faiz, you have to come too with that tank, boy. I say, Faiz, you know what you have to do. And I tell them I go on. Kazim tell me, yeah, but he couldn't let go my foot.
So you left.
I had to pull my foot off of Kazim.
Right.
Can I kick it off of him? Him tell I go my foot. Because he telling me, yeah, Chris, go ahead, but he couldn't let go my foot. I had to yank it out, force it out of him. And I left. After I spin around from man was stretched out in the back, so I spin around and come on my belly.
Right.
I had the tank in front of me.
So you're pushing the tank with the regulator in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
And as I enter that water, because I know I don't have much air, or I have a limited amount, I don't know how far to go. As I enter that water, I must up every piece of strength, everything in me to just push. Just move as fast as I could move.
Right.
Pray and I asked God to give me the strength, and I just go on and I started to just run through the water. I started to move through the water. While going through, my tank started to go dry. You just know, even if you don't have a gauge, I experienced that, but just know when your regulator start to get hard on you.
Yes.
Some regulators make a little singing noise. Mine's, well, I don't even know if that was mine. The tank that I had wasn't making any noise.
Right.
But I know the tank was going, it was getting hard. So when I realized that I could have only hope I reach the entire air pocket, or I start feeling if I could feel a tank or anything like that too. So while I pushing and feeling, my tank hit the next tank. I hit tongue. And at this stage, I force in the diaphragm. Well, I know you just do recreational diving, so you know what you mean by forcing. If you ever do that, it's like a sucking out a bottle, like a wringing it dry, it just feel like that. Forcing the diaphragm to get some air. Air done. I reach back in a state and I nearly drowning until I hear ping. When I hear ping, I let go this tank and I run up and I scramble that one and I feel fit. When I feel and I get the mouthpiece, it had no, when I get the second stage, it had no mouthpiece on it. Right? So I pushed the whole thing in my mouth. It was like eating oil, pure oil inside. And I purge it. And I get, yes. Thank you, Lord. And I just started go again. Maybe about...
Pause there for a minute. What did you do with the empty tank? Did that pass by you?
Yeah, I left it there and
there was enough room for it to pass by.
Yeah.
So you were able to leave it in the and then carry on with this new tank that you'd found.
Now remember, I looking to reach as fast as where I want to go, as fast as possible. I don't need no extra baggage to hold me back.
No, quite.
The other.
Yeah.
So that's forward I was going. That's all my mind. Never seen faith. Fly to something like that. And just forward. And as I keep going, I enter a air pocket. But the sun wasn't totally dry like the last one. This one was like halfway of the pipe with water in it, or liquid. You know? And I hold up, saving my air, and I traversing through the water now.
And so there was this air pocket, and did that come to an end?
Yeah, so just before it came to an end, I heard Feis's voice. Christopher. Yeah, Feis. It's you. I pause. He said, where? I said, right here, boy, right here. He said, right here, where? I said, I in the pipe house, right here. I saw me right here. He said, wait for me now. I said, Feis back, I wait for you, boy, brother, boy. I'm breathing down here too long. We staying down here too long. We need to move, boy, brother, boy. We down here too long. We had to save anybody. We had to get out of here. I can't stop. We can't take no breaks. If you need to take a break, stop and take a break. Once I reach out and I get rescued, I'm coming back for you. I say, Chris, wait for me now, boy. Chris, wait for me now, boy. I said, boy, Feis, I can't wait, boy. Just before, when I realized the pipeline flooding out, at this stage, Feis telling me that, boy, how this thing happened, boy. And he talking and I tell him, boy, don't worry about that now, boy. Don't worry about that. Say, boy, we go come out of this. Yeah, boy, we go come out of this, boy. Have faith, boy. Just before the water, the pipe totally full of water, I stop and I say, Feis, where? He say, I here. I say, here, where? He say, right here. I say, Feis, you coming? He say, yeah, coming. I say, Feis, but me hearing water moving. He say, yeah, coming, I coming. I say, alright, good. Well, here we going on. I go in. He say, going away. I say, well, the pipe fully, I going on underneath. He said, no, wait for me now, wait for me. I say, brother, I can't wait for you. What's man?
Alright.
I need to go.
And did you?
I did.
Right.
And as I go, maybe about, for this one, because it was a short distance, I could judge that it was maybe around 30 to 40 feet. Or what I may felt as 30 to 40 feet.
No one's going to hold you to it, Mr. Boodram, I understand. But anyway, you felt it was a lot shorter.
From the bend. When I feel the bend, pause. Because now I'm going to face either death or life.
Right.
Because remember, I'm still not sure if I'm going to 5 or 6 years now.
Right. So it's either light above you or not.
Make up my mind to die for the third time. Now I went up. While going up, sorry, I missed something. I found that next tank while coming across. Right? While we was in the water. That's why I asked Feis, I stop and I asked Feis, Feis, you have air? Feis tell me, yes, you have air. I say, sure? He said, yes. I said, alright. I find the next tank, I keep in it. He said, no, wait for me now, but I said, Feis, I can't wait for you. And I went into the water.
So is this a third tank then?
Third.
Yeah.
The first one, what I had, well, if excluding Feis, right, the third tank that I had in my possession. Right? I left that one in where the pipe was full of water. The second one, right, where I found, and then the third one where I found in that spot.
So this
right?
is your third tank.
Yeah,
right.
that's my third tank. So I hold on to that one, right? And I say fires are gone. Now this before I meet the elbow, right? I swear to God, if I knew the elbow was there, I would have leave that tank for somebody else. I didn't know. Take the tank, and I went in. I find the elbow, and I find the elbow. I still held on to the two tanks because I'm so much in fear of that being a blank, and I may have to traverse back. So when I find that tank, I was still in, okay, well, I have a next tank. This might be a lifeline in case that go wrong up there. So I grabbed the next tank and I went up. When I reached up there,
Did you see daylight?
inside there was pitch black.
Right.
I feel like if I could have give up when I reach up there and I see nobody inside there. None of my, I would call them family was inside there waiting for me. Andrew, Dexter, no rescue diver, nobody was inside that chamber. But they don't know that. When I see that, I wasn't sure if I was living still. Because it was so unbelievable to know this happened and nobody here to assist me, nobody. I didn't see nobody inside the pipe trying to rescue me. Nothing. Every time I open my eyes, it's burning. I can't see anything. I can't hold up my weight inside the pipe because the pipe gushy.
Yes, slippery.
Right? One tank full, the next one maybe about half. I could tell that because the buoyancy. I experienced diver, I would know that. So I say, okay, well, let me let down this tank, that buoyant. I know it's not going to drop hard, so if you're not feisty behind me, it's not going to hit it. Right? It will take its time and go down. Or maybe just be neutrally buoyant. Right?
Right.
So I let go that and I held on to the full one. And I started to feel around and I felt that chain from on the chain block.
It was hanging inside the pipe.
It was hanging inside the pipe. I used that and I wrap up my right hand on it here so. And I said, alright Chris, we gotta get out of here. After I tried trying to climb out several times, I realized I couldn't climb out. I couldn't wedge myself in it. The pipe was too small to try to wedge yourself in the pipe to climb up, and it was too slippery. It was like about 4 to 5 feet. Okay, so I in this and floating at the water reaching me around neck height.
So
right?
you're floating
in the
now,
water,
right.
it will reach me around neck height. That's me kicking and swimming, right?
Right.
Treading water.
Treading water, right. But could you see the top of the pipe?
Right. And that was like
Out of your reach?
out of my reach.
Right, so what, like the ceiling here?
Not that high.
Not even that high?
No, not that high. Just barely out of my reach. Just barely.
Yeah.
You understand the frustration?
Yeah, I can.
To reach this far and car come out and I hold on to the chain and I trying to pull up and I forcing this arm to give me some strength to try to hold on. So I made 3 or 4 attempts and when I hold on and this arm get this strain, it give up on me. So every time I'm falling back down. So I had no strength to pull myself out of it.
Right.
I take the chain, I make a knot on the chain with my right hand. Where my foot could have fit into it. I put my foot into it and I'm trying to pull up on it now. And after all the attempts are trying to climb up without doing that, like my body now was too weak
Yes.
to actually propel myself up there now. So from there, the only thing I realized I could do now is just bowl and call and pray somebody upside there, somebody. I just hope outside now on fire, hope somebody actually care, you know, to rescue me. And I wrap the hook or the chain, the next end of the chain, on my hand here, so, and I was ponging on the pipe and bawling and crying and bawling. Help! Help! Well, help me, and I'm ponging, and then in between that I hear a knock. After I hear a knock, I knock it back once. Then the person like they hear the knock and then it me two. Dong dong. I them back two. Tong tong. So they could understand that this is not just not something swinging. Is somebody actually sending you a signal.
Reacting to the knocks.
Right.
Rather than just something loose hanging. I got you. Yeah.
And then I started hear a little sign of bawling. Like humming. You can't really hear distinctively what it is, but I understand that, alright, they're hearing me. And I hold on there for my day life. Feeling to faint, feeling to black out, totally exhausted. And then all of a sudden I just see a light. Because every now and again I pull in on a reason as far as I could reason and get a little peep. But I can't see down, I just see a little over there. And I started to see a little light shadowing in the
habitat.
In the habitat.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was the angel that coming from me. I tell myself these the light where the people will be talking about coming light. I swear this was that coming from me. When the person come in the chamber. Now I know Ronald Ramuta personally. On top of he being a mentor to me in diving, he is my neighbor. I grew up underneath him. And I did not recognize him. He had on his hoodie. I could barely see too. All I seen is just like a lighted image. And when I see my Jeff back in the pipe and I start to let go the chain because I'm frightened and not knowing what is this. If this is in my eyes, because I mean I'm a strong biblical person. I say the angel are dead or something. They were with, I like, who's that boy? Who's that boy? And he said, by me, but I said, by me, who by me, who by? He said, Rolly, but I said, Rolly, who by? He said, Ramuta by, Ramuta by. He said, Rolly, that you by? He said, yes, but I said, by, take out a hoodie, let me see it now, take out the hoodie. He said, by, but I get out of here now, by, save me now, by, please. He said, yeah, by, yeah, by. And he tried pulling him up once or twice, but he alone couldn't bring him out because the height of the pipe, he didn't have much force on his side because he's not too tall neither. You know, so he said, but I alone can't do it, but I have to go and get help. I said, oh gosh, don't leave me now, boy. He said, but I have to go and get help and come back, boy. I said, boy, don't leave me, boy. I don't know how long I could hold on here again. As I tell him that, he said, look, Corey coming. I said, Corey, who? He said, Corey, boy. I said, alright, Corey. I said, Corey. He said, yeah, boy, Chris, boy. I said, boy, save me now, boy. Hospital. Get him out of here now, boy, boy. Well, it was, boy, get him out of here now, boy. He said, alright, Corey, hold me. It really helped. And me trying to, whatever strength I had left, to pull me out of the pipe. Really asked me if I'm alright. I said, yeah, I said, boy. Them fellas down there, boy. Them fellas down there, boy. I had to go down and help them. He said, yeah, he's just waiting for more equipment and backup. But you go get them. I said, boy, if I see not too far, boy. If I see not too far, boy.
Pause there for a minute. Were you telling them that they were alive still when you left them?
Yes, I tell Rolly this. Rolly was the first person here. Ronald Ramuta was the first person alongside Corey. Because when he came in, he asked me, he said, "What to them fellas? Where Feisty? Because Feisty is his brother, I know also."
Yeah.
Tell him Feisty not too far from me, boy. Everybody down there, boy.
Right.
I'll go for them now, boy. He said, yeah, boy, he's just waiting for equipment and backup, boy.
All right.
Yeah. Before I reached out the chamber, I came out the habitat. I asked Corey to find out from Andrew Farah how long I was down there for, because as a diver overstaying your time could lead to decompression sickness. So I was unaware of the time that I was down there for. I asked Ron around at the time. I think he told me, I believe he told me 6 o'clock, I'm not sure. Alright? After he told me that, I asked him to I tell Corey to find out from Andrew Farah how long I've been down here, and do I need a decompression chamber. Corey came back, told me, Andrew said, come out. I say, how long? He just said, come out. I said, go and ask him again if I need to go into a chamber. I ain't worked so hard to reach out here, then reach on the top of the surface and have decompression sickness to no stages of it. He went back, and Farah told him, I good, come out. Corey asked me if I could come out. I said, yeah. I went in the water and I swim out. Corey swim out, reach up to the top. As I reach up to the top, I saw Andrew was on Petrotrin's. No, I lie. He was on top. Andrew was on Adventurer 1.
Which is the
boat.
Which is the boat?
Yeah, the small boat, aluminum boat.
Mm-hmm.
He and somebody else was there. I can't remember at this point of time. And they tried to pull me out of the water, and I told them, that hand broken. And they came out, and I tell as they pulled me up on the boat, my eyes fell on Nicholas Koroban. I see Nicholas Koroban. I said, Nicholas, go and save your father. Go and save your father. He's not far down. He's right behind me. Go and save your father. And Nicholas said, all right. I know Nicholas is a diver. Andrew asked me to turn around. I turn around and I lie down on my back now. I tell him, I say, boy, them fellas in there, let's go and save them. Let's go and save them. Andrew was like, all right, but you relax. I said, don't tell me to relax. To what? Better let me go back and save them, you know, because like all I want to do nothing. And he said, hey, relax yourself, you in shock. I said, I'm not in shock. Them fellas down there, boy. Let me get them. And then my eye fell on top of the chamber. A very competent diver. And his father being there, I know he's a kind of no-nonsense type of guy too. Knowing him personally, he is family to me too. I say, Michael, go and save your father. And Michael said, all right. And he started to place back on foot on the habitat, on top of the habitat. And I was like, what are you doing, boy? Go and save your I used some profanities. Your father. No, boy, no. And then he run off the thing. At the same time, they transfer me. They wanted to transfer me from one boat to the other. So they transfer me. I think I cannot like walk for myself.
Okay, I know it's difficult to remember everything, but they transferred you. Did anyone take you to any decompression unit that afternoon?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody. Then I felt like nobody cared for me or my diving buddies. Nobody. I was supposed to see a dive specialist first, or at least while going through emergency, see a dive specialist and be treated into a chamber. Right? When they take me and they put me on the boat, I let them know. I say, hey, because like everybody was a set of headless chickens. I say, hey, cut off the sweatsuit off of me and check to see if I seen any wounds, any lacerations, anything, any blood, anything bleeding, because my body numb. I don't know. And if I seen it, I had to stop the bleeding. I don't know. Right? After the cut open the wetsuit, they didn't see nothing. I believe it was either a Paria official or a Kenson official, somebody within Paria organization assisted with cutting out the wetsuit. I said, now check my head, look under the oil, look good to see all there. See no busted, nothing here bleeding. Check good, and they check, they say, nah, you good. After the cut me out, I in my drawers. They take out my booty, that they cut out my booty. I believe we reached the landing stage, and when we reached the landing stage, I hop off the boat and come onto the landing stage. They tried to put me on a stretcher 2-3 times. I was only sliding off because you could guess my whole body drenched down with oil, sludge.
Okay, they told you you were not taken to a decompression unit, but where were you taken to?
The ambulance, we wait for the ambulance a few minutes, maybe about 3-4 minutes, the ambulance reached on the jetty. I had to hop up the stairs, went into the ambulance, they fastened me down, and they carried me to San Fernando General Hospital. While we was going there, I say, before that, after I talked to Andrew, and I tell them that I asked them to call my wife. Within all of this happening, for much hours I was down there, nobody find it proper to call my wife and tell my wife that I stuck in a pipeline or I'm missing. Nobody. My wife had to get third-hand information to know what's going on. And call my wife, I tell them, meet me at San Fernando Hospital. They said they carried me at San Fernando Hospital. When I reached San Fernando Hospital, no preparation was in place. I mean, San Fernando, so I did a good job, right? But they wasn't prepped. They didn't know is a guy coming with oil. They don't know what to treat him for if it's a dive accident. They didn't know anything. They didn't even know about the accident. I had oil on my skin for 3 days. 3 days I trying to take oil off of my skin. So I don't have the chemicals to take them oil off of my skin. When I settled up one thing, I was able to tell my wife what to bring to get the oil off of me. Oil all up inside my nostrils, all in my sinus. They had nothing. So don't get me wrong, so I did the best that they could do. But they wasn't prepped. It wasn't an advanced phone call stating we have an emergency with a diver in Paria. He coming in with oil, he coming in with nothing. No information, nothing. It's like if I get damage at home and get rushed to the hospital. I don't understand how an accident could happen in the biggest state-owned company in Trinidad and Tobago, and a phone call to the hospital at least wasn't made. You know, I had so much emotions to deal with, and anger is on the top of it. Because of this, no rescue attempt. For me, that's how I felt. No rescue attempt. When coming out, I was treated like a normal casualty patient, right? They didn't put anything in place. This oil on my skin for 3 days was sickening me.
At the San Fernando General Hospital, you spoke to the nurses, and they spoke to you.
I spoke to my wife. And
at the hospital?
I saw my wife, and I felt, after seeing my wife, is when I felt, how to say it, is when I felt like I was rescued, after speaking to my wife. My mother recently passed, and she was the closest thing to comfort, to me. So it's only then I felt I was rescued after seeing my wife, and I just say, well, all right, I reach. I say, babe, take down some information from her. I explained to she the time I was inside the pipe. I told her to call a friend of mine, Brian Lozama. He suffered from decompression sickness and went through all the stages, so he have a lot of experience in it. I told she to ask him for Dr. Combs' number to get on to him and ask advice. I told her all the relevant information that I could have remembered. I said liaise with Brian Lozama and Jerome. Jerome is an ex-friend, that's an alias name he has. Liaise with two of them, they would give you all the advice that you could need. Take it and make sure I get to a chamber, because I believe I might be suffering from decompression sickness. And decompression sickness could hit you from numerous stages. It could hit you instantly, it could hit you slowly, it could kill you, it could cripple you, it could just be a short pain. You can't tell unless you're under the scope.
How long did you stay in the hospital? At the hospital? At the San Fernando hospital? How long they kept you?
I think it was 6 days. 6 or 7 days. I stayed here, and it was...
Okay. Mr. Boodram, I want to ask you a very important question. If when you were rescued, either Paria or LMCS wanted to find out from you the condition in the pipe in order to effect a rescue, were you in a position to tell them what the condition of the pipeline was inside the pipe?
When I now come out of the pipe, my mind and everything was focused and tuning to everything to save them fellas. If they had debriefed me there and then, that I get everything they could have give from me.
Including the condition in the pipe?
Everything I could have tell them.
Right.
After seeing my wife and reaching to the hospital and telling she that last bit of information, I said, babes, you have to take it from here now. I saw my brother, I told my brother the same thing. I said, I need to relax my mind on overdrive right now. And after that, the doctors do the thing.
Whilst you were in the pipeline and you were coming out and you had promised the men that they would be rescued, did you see anything in that pipeline during the time you were in that pipeline to obstruct anyone from coming into that pipeline to rescue the men?
If there's anything to obstruct them, how I come out? How I come out? Andrew?
Chris, first of all, thank you for sharing your story with us. I think it's a remarkable story. But building off of Ramesh's, what I'm hearing from Ramesh, what I want to ascertain is really, when you came out, any person, whether LCMS or Paria, attempted to get a debrief of what happened in the pipeline. That's one.
I was begging him to stay, but I didn't want to leave this side. I was begging him to stay, but I said, well, let me go back for you, man, and myself. I tell him that I'm sure if I would be here if I didn't go back at least 100% sure that nobody can tell me about all that shit about can rescue people. I dive in a pipe before that and put inside the riser on same boat 6. I went inside that on that pipe herself, call him pipe. I went in that and put in a soft paper gasket because we couldn't install it from the outside because the surgeons was slamming against it. I went in the pipe on that scuba self. Paria talk about scuba and scuba for all the years we diving in there. Scuba, every company coming there was scuba for all the years.
Can you help me with this, please? And it follows on from what Mr. Wilson was saying. When you were being ferried in the ambulance to go to hospital, all right, did anybody accompany you in the ambulance? Now, obviously, there was the ambulance staff, but was there anybody from Paria or
No,
from
sir.
LMCS?
No, sir.
Or
I tell you,
anybody?
there was headless chickens out there.
Well, all right. Pause for a minute, please, because I understand your anger and your emotion. I do understand. I just want to be clear so that we know what we can take this into account. All right? Have you got your napkin? Yes, good. So I think what we're after is to know whether or not there was an attempt at trying to get from you as much information as possible, as soon as possible. And obviously, people would have thought it was necessary. Just a minute. People would have thought it was necessary to take you to hospital, but there was nothing to stop someone going with you in the ambulance to speak to you. Do you see what I mean?
I know that,
Right.
sir.
What I understand from what you're saying is that there wasn't anybody to accompany you in the ambulance to take you to hospital.
The only person asked me anything was Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew asked me.
Right.
I believe Andrew asked me how far they inside, and I tell him 5G not too far. The rest of them I don't know.
Right. And that aside, do you remember if you were put on a call with Mr. Colin Piper, a man called Randolph Archbold, and Mushtaq Mohammed? Do you know if you were put on a phone call with them later that night?
I have no
recollection. All right.
To anybody from Paria. The only person other than Randy for the ambulance and Kazim Ali.
Right.
My wife and my wife was filtering phone calls also while I was in the hospital because a lot of media people and etc.
Of course. But you have no recollection of having a conversation at about 10 o'clock that night?
And I very, very much doubt.
Right.
I would say that them fellas die. Because I come out and I tell everybody they was living. In front of don't have nobody could deny that I said everybody was living. Who was they?
I don't think that's...
You could ask the whole hospital staff. Because throughout this whole period I was just breaking down in the hospital. Ask any one of the doctors who see about me, they will tell you. Any one of the nurses, everybody, they want to know.
Mr. Boodram, I think everybody accepts that you made that clear. I don't think that's a challenge. I just wanted to be clear in my own mind about whether you were approached, do you follow me, by anybody from LMCS or I mean, after you were put in the ambulance, all right? Anybody from LMCS or from Paria to speak to, and you have no recollection of that.
No.
I'm putting to you that there was it's alleged that there was a conversation at around 10 o'clock that night, but you have no recollection of that. All right. Thank you very much.
I want to read something that Mr. Piper said in a conversation he said he had with you at paragraph 131 of the witness statements bundle at page 1368. I asked Boodram how he was doing. Mr. Boodram responded by saying, Mr. Piper, I want to say up front, I ain't think them fellas make it, or words to that effect. The phone was placed on speakerphone mode, and Mr. Boodram's words were audible to persons around. Mr. Boodram then indicated that he crossed two welded sections on the way. Two welded seams on the way out of the pipeline. He said he then crossed blacks who was unresponsive. He indicated that 4 of them were making their way out of the pipeline, and they were helping Kazim Ali Jr., who had a broken leg and arm. He then said they came across an air pocket, after which there was 1 person less. He then said they came across a second air pocket, after which they lost Kazim Jr. He further stated that Faizi was with him until he reached the elbow, and then Faizi said he could make it. Mr. Boodram did not ask during that conversation whether anyone else was rescued from the pipeline. Did you tell Mr. Piper that?
I did not. At least to my recollection. And not to my recollection, I would not say something like that. You could even, how the series of how we say it happened. When I cross blacks, at no point at time, I was in front of blacks all the time. At no point at time, I felt blacks' body. I saw blacks while inside that pipe.
So specifically, you didn't tell Mr. Piper, I want to say up front, I ain't think them fellas make it.
That not making sense, Mr. Ramesh.
Okay. Now,
why I go just call Piper and say, just so, hey, up front by them fellas dead, boy? That we trying to say, I say?
Okay. All right, I want to ask you another question. Now, this must have been a very harrowing experience for you, but I want you to try and help us, okay? You, according to your account, you promise your colleagues, your friends, that you would come back or you would get help for them to come back to be rescued. If when you came out, you had the energy and the strength from what you saw in that pipeline, would you have gone into the pipeline to rescue them?
Yes, and I will tell you this from my experience. Even if I was not in the situation and I was a diver outside the situation, inside the pipeline is safer than outside the pipeline. Inside the pipeline, there is no predators, there is no currents, there is nothing to fall on you inside a pipeline. You understand? I have been inside a pipeline before, as I just stated. And going in there, all you need to do is take your tank off your back. And you're going in there. You carry down a rope. Or if you could, even less, if you could get a hooker, you cannot use a hat. You cannot use a hat. If you had tried to use a hat, when you end up in there, you end up in difficulties. Because the weight of the hat, when you reach in the air pocket, you would not be able to raise up your head to assist or help anybody.
What is a hat?
The surface supply hat to put on your head and for communications and things, because I was reading that they say you needed that to do the rescue. I challenge anyone to do it out of water, in a pipe, or in water, to lie down in that pipe with a hat on, with hose on, and communication, to go down there and try to perform a rescue. I challenge anyone to do that. And I could try, but
And Mr. Boodram, if you had gone in the pipe to do the rescue after the event, and if you had gone in to do the rescue, and you met a tank blocking, what would you have done?
I would have done what I did while I was coming out, damaged and bruised, passed over the tank.
Passed over the tank. Now, I borrowed that exhibit. Assuming this represents the pipeline, right? There is a tank, okay?
A tank is approximately 6 inches in diameter. So if you have something around 6 inches, you could put it there and you could see anybody, up to the biggest man in this courtroom, could pass through there with that tank there.
So you could go over the tank, or you could go on the side of the tank?
You could.
Mr. Boodram, you said in your statement that whilst you all were doing the works, Paria had a representative topside monitoring the works.
Yes. They had more than one.
They had more than one.
Yeah. One person was frequently monitoring the air quality that we were breathing in the chamber also, in the habitat. And
monitoring that, and monitoring to ensure that you all complied with the method of work and what was approved.
Correct. And at all times, we had to apply with Parias, because we working in their compound and we doing their job. Over all years, at any point in time, Paria see something, they stop the work and they had a conversation, wherever is the plan, and we get back on it. Just like how when we had to stop the work to do the carbon testing to get permission from Paria to go forward or to cancel the job. You understand?
So, from your experience, if you were working there for LMCS doing works, and you were doing works which not accordance with what they agreed to, they would stop the work.
Of course.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
From when you first started to remove that mechanical plug to the point in time when the vortex then dragged you all in, what sort of time are we talking about? From start to finish of that part of the project?
From the period of time we start unbolting the mechanical plug.
From the beginning, when you start to unbolt the mechanical plug, to the point in time when the water's come up and drags you into the pipe, how long are we talking about? I'm not going to hold you to it, but give me some idea.
At least an hour and a half to 2 hours. At least an hour and a half, I would say, because remember when we take out the plug, I came out to ask if the carbon testing was done on boat 5, right? And then we come back in and we was doing the thing, but while taking out a mechanical plug, right, after we unbolt it and release it and thing, right, we had to jack it up, right? It's not a light thing.
No.
The mechanical plug was rather heavy, right? We had to jack it up, guide it down, move the scaffolding, bring it between the pipe and the chamber, right? And then fasten it to the outside of the habitat.
So did you have to put your scuba kit back on?
Correct.
Go out through the bottom.
Faisy and I did that. Yeah.
With this thing that weighs a lot. It didn't drag you down to the bottom.
Well, we had it hooked up onto the chain block.
Already,
right? So after we just tie it onto the...
Gotcha. But between an hour and a half and 2 hours, from start to conclusion of that part of the project?
Estimatedly, yeah.
Estimated, I appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Again, I'm sorry, Mr. Maharaj.
That's all right, madam. I want to show you your statement signed on the 19th of October 2022. Yeah, it's at page 1569, particularly at page 1569, paragraph 22. It's volume 4, 12, it's 12 in volume 4. Okay. 1569. I wonder if the orderly will. Paper bundle.
Go ahead. I have a good memory on my statement too. I think fabricated in it.
I know.
I don't need it.
I know. I just want to show it to you. And you said in that statement, we were told the following jobs would be done that morning.
Which paragraph are we on, please?
Paragraph 22.
Paragraph 22.
Page
right.
1569.
Yes. Do you have that, Mr. Boodram?
Yeah, we were told the following job would be done.
We were told the following jobs would be done that morning on the 25th of February 2022 by Kazim Ali Jr. in the presence of Paria officials.
Yes.
Extract the pipe from the top of the habitat, install the new one into the habitat, add air to the habitat to remove water. All the divers would enter the habitat. The divers would take off the blank flash. The divers would unbolt the mechanical plug. The divers would wait for carbon testing to be done on boat 5. Carbon testing would then be done on boat 6. After testing the weld, the divers would extract the inflatable plug and install the new riser. Then the job would be done.
Correct.
Are those true and correct?
Correct. The only when I meant by all the divers, we were talking about the four of us. Kazim Ali Jr. were always to stay on the outside and interveniently check on us to make sure none of us, because it's a confined space we working in, to make sure none of us over fatigue or moving anyway.
I think it was my mistake. You said the divers. So I'm glad you explained it. At paragraph 24, on that same page, in terms of safety briefing, we were told by LMCS safety officer in the presence of Paria's safety officer, Mr. Dobson, that the hazard was malfunction of equipment, our tanks had air, and our gauges were working. We were also warned about slips and trips and the system for fatigue, which was that anyone who became fatigued whilst working in the habitat would be taken out to get some rest. Next paragraph, the safety briefing which you were given did not identify any hazard or entry into the pipe. Any hazard of entry into the pipe. We were briefed on potential hazards of cutting. We did not use any torches or grinders. There was a fire extinguisher in the habitat. There is a gas monitor and a Paria official who was regularly testing the air quality to make sure that the air was safe and breathable. Are those matters correct? What you said in your statement?
Correct.
Correct?
They are true and correct. They could also have been a few more details into the safety briefing that I may have left out or not remembered in the safety briefing.
You want to tell us about any other thing that they may have told you and you now remember? To be honest, after that event happening there, my mind on recollecting every little detail before the incident, it's hard. What I could recollect, every detail, because I've been living it every single night since, every single hour since, is inside the pipe and coming out the pipe. Well, I think I owe a duty to ask you specifically. Did they ever tell you anything of a risk of you being sucked into the pipeline?
No, they did not.
Much obliged, Chairman. I have no further questions.